Hi guys, this has to be the stupidest statement Kemi Badenoch has ever made. And remember, this is somebody who lied about the Canadians and lied about Brexit. So as she attempts to win over the crazies in the Conservative Party, the same people who would like to see Nigel Farage join, she doubled down on the stupid. Now here she was on the Trevor Philips show, where she would like to ban people from countries that don't like Israel. What the hell?
You talked about, it's about immigration, and what you talk about is not the numbers, but the nature of immigration and immigrants. And you say, I am struck, for example, by the number of recent immigrants to the UK who hate Israel. That sentiment has no place here. Which immigrants are we talking about?
Well, people who come from countries where Israel is seen as an enemy.
People who come from countries where Israel is seen as an enemy. There are people in Ireland who don't like Israel. There are people in the United Kingdom who don't like Israel. There are people in Israel who are not happy with their government. But you want to ban people who come from countries that don't like Israel. Is this the official stance of the country? Because if she's talking about Nigeria, there are about 4,000 Jews living in Nigeria. Does she want to ban them as well? Like, is this about asylum seekers or is this about immigrants? Because of course they're separate things. And how do you identify which people are pro-Israel and which people are, and is there like a test when people arrive, at the border? Okay, we want you to fill out this form about, where you're from and stuff. And also, can you please include whether you're pro or anti-Israel on the form? Because we need to make sure that we don't want the wrong people coming into the country. This is insane. But once again, the Conservative Party is insane. And in order to win the leadership of the Conservative Party, you have to out-insane the other candidates, it seems. This is the stupidest statement she's ever come up with. This idea, we need to stop people from coming to Britain who have an anti-Israel sentiment, or stop people from coming from countries that have an anti-Israel sentiment. There are people, from Iran, there are people from Pakistan who have no problem with Israel. But are you going to ban them from coming in because they come from countries that have a disagreement with Israel? This is insane, beyond insane. But once again, she's doubling down on the insanity because that's what you need to win the leadership of the Conservative Party.
I remember growing up in Nigeria as a young child that people talked about Israel with a lot of positivity. What I didn't know is that in the northern part of the country, which was heavily Muslim, people spoke in a completely different way. And I will also remember 10 years ago when 300 girls were stolen from school and taken away by Islamist terrorists. It resonates with what happened on October 7th. And so I'm always shocked by the number of people who are unable to sympathize with those victims, people who are ripping down posters. I think that's extraordinary.
How do you know it was immigrants that were ripping down posters? How do you know it wasn't British people that were ripping down posters in London or wherever these posters were? Like, she's automatically jumping to, well, obviously it was immigrants that were tearing down these posters because immigrants don't like Israel. This is insane. It's just, I don't know if she's stupid or she just pretends to be stupid in order to win over the crazies of the party.
Missing children's posters being ripped down because people hate the country. I don't think that has any place here.
It's interesting. You make a virtue of your plain speaking and so on, but you evidently mean, when you say the number of recent immigrants who hate Israel, you evidently mean Muslim immigrants. Why didn't you just say that?
Because it's not all Muslim immigrants. And this is what I don't do. I'm very careful when I speak. I've met many...
Sorry, but I can't respond. I'm very careful when I speak. Okay.
Muslim people who love Israel. I met them in the Middle East when I went to Saudi.
Then how are you... So you're saying that some Muslims are going to be banned because they don't like Israel, but you're talking about countries before. So how do you identify? So is it the country that's the problem or is the individual that's the problem? Because if it's the country that's the problem, then that's quite easy. You just say, well, nobody's allowed in from Saudi Arabia. Oh, actually, no, people are allowed in from Saudi Arabia for a different reason. So we're just going to ban people from countries that don't have a good relationship with Israel. But then you're saying, well, I've met Muslims who have a good relationship, who admire Israel. Then which way is it? Is it banning people or banning the people from particular countries? She doesn't even have her own ducks in a line. She doesn't even know what she's talking about herself. It's all just pandering to the crazies of the Conservative Party.
Saudi, when I went to the UAE, you look at the Abraham Accords, there are many people in the Middle East who want to support Israel. I remember reading, after this assassination of the Hezbollah leader, loads of people from Arab countries who were actually very pleased. That man caused chaos in Syria. So it is not all Muslims, but there are some, those who buy into Islamist ideology, political Islam, they do not like Israel. And we need to be able to distinguish between the two. That's why I don't just use a word that brings so many people into the group.
She doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know if this is by design or it's by accident. So first she says we need to stop people from coming from anti-Israel countries. But then she's saying, well, it's not actually the countries, it's the people. But then how do you identify? Like, the Tories refuse to actually process asylum claims. So how are you going to get to the stage where you're going to be able to interrogate people on their views of Israel? And wants to stop somebody who wants to come into the country saying, no, I fully support Israel. Yeah, sure. Like, this is insane. But once again, as I keep saying, you need to be insane to be the leader of the Conservative Party, or at least good at pretending. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.